Welcome back. So our self-doubt gets a bad rap, right? True, it can be like this unwelcome guest to the party, but also it has something important to tell us, which we tend to forget. So today we are going to break down how you can learn from your self-doubt and tame it in these 3 simple steps. So welcome back to the Impact in Action weekly live show, where we talk about mindset shifts and tactical approaches to help you put your impact into action. Now, I am Maryann Lombardi. I am the founder and CEO of Maryann Lombardi Coaching. I'm also an author, and I help women and non-binary entrepreneurs build wealth and independence by ditching that work-life balance battle so that they can take the bold action that's necessary to build a profitable business that is in alignment with the life that they choose to live. So let's get into this whole thing about doubt. Your doubt is going to come and go, right? It's going to be with you on and off in your life. And it's more important to learn how to live with that doubt than to force yourself to eliminate it completely. Because your doubt comes from all sorts of places, right? Like it comes from your upbringing and the historical and cultural environment in which you live. It's also nurtured, that doubt is nurtured by a host of experiences, right? They can be your past experiences, they can be your failures, your wins, your comparison, right? That comparison game that you play. It could be by being surrounded by negative people or, assholes. Too many assholes in your life can feed your self-doubt. So I should actually do a live just on how to remove the assholes out of our life. So I'm going to add that to the list. So yes, you are the one who has to manage. You have that challenge managing your self-doubt, but it is important to recognize that you are not the cause of it, right? You're not at fault. You are not the problem, right? Because there are historical and cultural and social systems at play that have been built to keep women, non-binary, other marginalized communities from having access to opportunity. And our self-worth develops in large part due to the value placed on our presence in society and the roles that we are expected to play. So our actions and choices have been historically confined and structured and limited. Girls and boys are raised in very different way, right? By parents or caregivers or community. And those caregivers aren't necessarily trying to mess us up, but it has an impact when we try to go and live our lives. If we don't live and choose and act within the boundaries of how we are raised. So for example, if we have doubts in our ability to manage our money, to invest that money, to price our services, any of that, it's not a surprise, right? When, for instance, Elvest reports that parents pay kids that identify as boys twice as much in allowance as they do their kids that identify as girls, right? And in one study, 65% of financial articles aimed at women told them that they are excessive spenders. And they encourage women to find bargains and coupons and control that splurge, where these articles aimed at men told them to dare to invest, right? To spend, to increase their power. And although progress is being made and has been made, it's kind of sobering to remember that laws that kept married women from employment were still happening in the 1940s. And the Equal Credit Act wasn't passed until 1974. That means that a woman like my mother wouldn't have been able to access a business loan without the cosign of a man before that time. So I say all that because context matters, right? That's my point. This history of gendered raising, of oppressive or restrictive laws, of expectations of what one should sound like, should say or not say, should look like, should do, should identify as. All of that stuff matters, and it has an impact on how we feel about ourselves and how others treat us in return. So I'm going to say it again. It's not our fault. It's not your fault if we have a bad week full of negative self-talk. It is not our fault if we struggle with self-limiting beliefs. It's perfectly understandable. Those feelings and beliefs will ebb and flow as we work through them and work to challenge them, right? As we change systems that are built to perpetuate them. So it's vital to remember you are not the problem. It's a long way of getting here, but it's important to know this. So now let's talk about how we tame this thing that is our self-doubt. So Our doubt often pops up with the express intent to keep us from doing something, right? To keep us from taking action or thinking a certain way or being a certain way, or it stops us from doing something. So to tame that doubt and take the action or do the thing that doubt is getting in the way of, we first need to not fight it, right? We need to, like, you want to not fight the doubt, because when we fight our doubt, we make it worse. You know, that fighting script in your head, it sounds like that. Well, it sounds like mine. It sounds like this. It goes, so come on. Why did you stop? Like, just go do it. Like, what's wrong with you? Why the fuck are you not working harder? Why did you not reach out to more people? You know, you need to be doing more. What is the hesitation, right? Like, I don't care what you think. I don't care if they say no, do it anyway, suck it out, right? Like, that's my interior monologue that goes on when I feel doubtful and I stop taking in action because of those self-doubt. And my interior monologue is a little nasty, right? She's kind of belligerent, but she gets that way because I fight with her, right? I let her push me into a battle, which only makes me mad at myself. And what started as doubt quickly turns into this sort of beating myself up, right? Like self-flagellation. So the outcome of this is I end up feeling worse and I am distracted from what was causing the doubt in the first place. So don't fight it, right? Allow the doubt to surface, allow it to rise, acknowledge that the doubt is there. We're going to call doubt Charlie. That's what I'm naming my doubt right now. So acknowledge that Charlie is there, and then stop the narrative, right? This is called thought stopping, right? Like when a thought comes up and you stop it. So when Charlie barrels into the room, say, hey, Charlie, I see you. I need you to sit over there, right? That's your seat right over there, right? If Charlie gets cranky, say, Charlie, stop. This is not helpful. Stay over there. Our ability to tame our self-doubt allows us to live with it, not eliminate it, right? Because the more we learn to do this, that whenever Charlie pops up in and out of our lives, our minds, we won't be derailed by their presence because we see them, we acknowledge them. Yep, I see you, Charlie, but you're not helpful right now. So I need you to sit over there. I know you're there, but I need you to sit there and be still, right? And this leads us into the second way of taming our doubt, is to name the fear in your doubt, because your doubt is interlinked with some sort of fear, right? And most of that doubt is like fear in disguise. So take a second and sit down with Charlie and ask, what are you afraid of, right? What is the worst that could happen if I engage with this fear? And more importantly, what is the best that could happen if I engage with that fear? Because fear is our friend. It is not our enemy. It presents us this beautiful opportunity to check in with our wants, our needs, and face them head on, right? This lets us better understand what is going on for us. So naming that fear is an important part of the process. You know, maybe you're afraid of looking silly, of failing, being rejected, of being found out that you don't know anything, or whatever it is, right? For example, if you are afraid of launching a coaching business because of fear of not being a good enough coach, name it, say it out loud, right? Like acknowledge that's the fear, because, and then ask yourself, well, what's the worst that could happen? Well, people could confirm that I suck, right? Like that I'm not a good coach. If that happens, then what do? I could go get more training and experience, or find a different audience that is more in line with my coaching style or what I am coaching on, right? But again, what is the best thing that could happen? I could really help people and transform their lives in a way that I have transformed my own, right? So acknowledging the doubt and not fighting the doubt is key. Next step of that, figuring out what fear lives inside that doubt and naming it is the second part. The third part is to act anyway, right? To do whatever that doubt is trying to stop you to do it anyway, right? We need to develop a bias for action, because our confidence comes from taking action, not from this believe in yourself stuff, right? Like your confidence happens after you take action, right? Like the belief comes after action, not before. So the common approach to building confidence suggests that we must remove doubt by believing in ourselves, and then that will build confidence. And that confidence will inspire us to take action. But this isn't actually the way it works, because confidence follows action, not the other way around. Confidence is developed through this continued commitment to action, right? Like you take an action, you assess what happens, you take another action, you become more confident that your actions will lead you to the results that you're looking for, and your doubt starts to subside a little bit. But again, your doubt never goes away completely. It will always come up back and forth, in and out. So after you stop fighting your doubt and you name your fear, you take a small action anyway, with your doubt in tow if you have to, right? Like Charlie can sit over there while you take an action, because the power comes from taking an action in spite of your doubt, not eliminating your doubt so you can take an action. Because again, confidence comes from doing, not believing. So to recap, taming our self-doubt starts with not fighting it. Second, by naming the fear you are avoiding. And third, by taking an action anyway. So I would love for you to try these steps, right? Like try them out and see how they feel. Also name your doubt. You don't have to use Charlie. I like Charlie, but name it, right? Like naming is, again, powerful. So don't fight her, him, them, don't fight him. Name the fear, take action anyway, and let me know about it afterward. All right, see you next week.